Hello, and today we are going to go over the basics of roofs in Revit. If you have been watching the playlist, this is the last video in Module 2. The next module will go over setting up your construction documents, so stay tuned for that. Please hit the subscribe button at the bottom right and get notifications for new videos. I drop a new video every Monday. All right, let's get started. So under the Architecture tab, we have a drop down for the roof command. So there's 6 options here. The first 3 have to do with creating a roof, and the last 3 have to do with adding something to a roof that's already created, whether it's a soffit, fascia, or a gutter. Today we're going to go over roof by footprint because it's the most commonly used, in my opinion. So you can either do the drop down and select roof by footprint, or if you just click the roof command one time, it defaults to the roof by footprint command. So you can go ahead and click. And then by now, this edit mode looks very familiar. So it's the same edit mode for floors and for ceilings as it is for roofs. So under the Modify tab here, you have your draw tools, and then you have some options under your options bar as well. So by default, the boundary line button is selected and the pick walls is selected. I'm going to leave it like this for the first demo. That way I can just pick my walls. So as you can see now, the walls are highlighting blue. So the difference between pick lines and pick walls here, if you use pick lines, you can still pick the wall, or a line of the wall. But by using pick walls, it's going to associate the roof to the wall. That way, when the wall moves, the roof will automatically update, and you won't have to go back and edit your sketch and make it correct. So that's really handy, and it saves a lot of time. So over in the options bar, we have define slope checked. I'm going to leave that checked, and I'll go over more of that later. And then you have an overhang option. So I'm going to say 2 feet for an overhang today. And then you have a button to extend to wall core. So what this means, if this is checked, this just Revit determines where your overhang is going to be measured from. So with extend to wall core on, it's going to measure my 2-foot overhang from the wall core, from the exterior finish of the wall core. If this wasn't checked, it'll measure the 2-foot overhang from the finish face of the wall. So typically you want it to measure from the finish or the exterior core of the wall. And then you want to pick what roof you want. I'll go with 8-inch generic. Or by now I think you know that if you needed to create a new one, you say edit type, and I have it over on my other screen, edit type and duplicate. But for now, we'll just use 8-inch generic. And I'll go through some of these other options later in the video of what some of these mean. So now I can simply go around and click all of my walls. And now I have a closed sketch. You need a closed sketch. And then 9/12, that's my slope. And each one of these triangles indicates that there is a slope coming from that side or that face. So I'm going to leave them all with a slope now so you can see. I also think I don't want 9 and 12. Maybe I want... So I'm going to change the slope over here. I don't want 9 and 12. So I either can select all of them and select the slope, or if you don't have any of them selected and you change the slope here, I can say 4 and it'll go to 4/12. It'll change all of them to 4/12. Okay, and then green check mark to finish the edit mode. And then right now I have it at 0. Let's make it 10 feet off. So I'll go to my 3D view. All right, so now you can see that I have a roof. Okay, and that looks pretty good. But what if I don't want a slope on every side? So you can click on the roof, You can either double click it or hit edit footprint. You can do this in 3D mode, or you can go back to your floor plan and you click on the side you don't want to slope and you just uncheck define slope. So let's do this for a couple so you can see. So now you can see those 3 edges that I picked don't have a triangle. Now when I finish my edit mode and I go to 3D, now you can see I have a gable end on those 3 sides. But now I have a hole with this wall. So there's a very handy tool. If you click the wall, up here you have attach top to base or detach top to base. I'm going to say attach top to base, and then I click the roof, and it will attach my wall to my gable end and close it up. Okay, one last thing to go over. Let's say this roof coming out on the side, maybe I want it a little higher than the main roof. So again, I click on the roof, press edit footprint. Again, I can do this in 3D or I can go to floor plan view. I'm going to select those 3 lines that have to do with that portion of the building coming out. And you see plate offset from base. I'm going to maybe say 1 foot. That's going to make it different from the rest. So you see if I click on my other ones, plate offset from base is 0. And then these ones I changed plate offset from base to 1. And I'm going to press the finish edit mode, go to 3D. So now, I mean, this looks a little funky, but just so you know that there is an option to not have the same plate heights. You know, this isn't going to happen in real life, so you'll need to edit it a little bit more, but just so you know, not everything has to be the same around the whole perimeter. Some of the other properties we can go over. It's really easy to change the slope now if I wanted to change it to 6 and 12 to see how it looks. You also have some rafter cut options. Plumb cut, what it is right now. And you can watch, see if I zoom in, the bottom of the roof here changes. So now it's cut straight across. So it's cut straight across. So if I change it back to plumb cut, you can see that it changed the bottom edge. So if you were doing a flat roof with a parapet and you didn't want a slope on anything, that's doable too. You just uncheck everything and then you have a flat roof. And that is the very basics of roofs. There's a lot more things you can do with a roof and a lot more settings and a lot more options. And we will go over that in a later video. Stay tuned and thanks for watching.